Another exciting edition of the SuperFly experience with your host with the nose, SuperFly Johnny Lee. And we are on episode 6 with all beef, no filler, Kenneth Gainz. Gainz, how you feeling tonight?
Feeling good, Johnny. I'm glad to be here, man. Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome, brother. Here lately you've been with the BSB brand. How's it been feeling?
Man, life's good when you're with Ben, man. As soon as I came to EWA, I knew I needed to saddle my horse to, the strongest guy in the company. And over the years, Ben has proved that he's that man. Since Ben's been commissioner at EWA, I think everybody can agree that the product's only got better. Ben gives the people what they want. And I feel like he doesn't get the appreciation that he should from our fans, Everybody's out here, giving us the business every time we're out there when they should be screaming, "Thank you," and cheering.
If you think about it from the fans' perspective, Ben's been on a tear since a couple of years ago.
Everything Ben's been doing for the better, though. The fact of the matter is, Johnny, that the average EWA fan doesn't have the mental capacity to understand that Ben's playing chess while they're playing checkers.
I can't fault you there. But here's the thing, too. Even the highest guy from BSB, he keeps on talking about he's going to dismantle them brick by brick. And you got Cash Atkins out there. He's vowed that he's going to tear y'all down brick by brick as well.
Ethan's been saying that for 2 years. And where's BSB? Still on top. We just acquired the world champion of EWA, Adrian Alexander. We're only going to get stronger from here. Ethan's been running his mouth on Facebook, in the ring, backstage for the past 2 years. Ethan took the Heritage title a couple years ago, but what did that do? BSB came back. We rebuilt stronger. Look at us right now. This form that you're seeing right now at BSB is the strongest we've ever been, the most successful we've ever been, and it's only going to go higher from here, to coin a phrase from Ethan.
That's right.
As far as Cash Atkins goes, I could go on for days about Cash Atkins. I think anybody who's familiar with Kenneth Gainz knows I have a personal disdain for that man that, it rivals anything, any hate anybody has for anyone in this world. Not a lot of people know this, but me and Cash used to be very close. We're both graduates of the EWA Academy.
Oh.
We both trained there together. Cash used to be my best friend, and we rode to shows together. We ate together. He was my brother, and he gets the call up before me, and out of nowhere, he doesn't have time for Kenneth Gainz anymore.
Wow.
Everybody looks at Cash like he's this big golden boy and a hero and all these great things, but nobody knows what a true piece of shit he really is.
I get that. He did come up before you. Is it true that he wasn't reaching out to you? Oh, wait, speaking of the devil, Cash Atkins is here. He said, well, I'll be. I hop on, and he goes to talking about me. That's true, Cash. He was talking about you.
Shut up, little scrawny man. Cowboy, you ain't got nothing on me right now, and you know it. I was letting everybody here in podcast land know what a two-faced, lying little asshole you are. So, the fact of the matter is, Cash Atkins thinks he's the best thing going in EWA right now. And I'll give it to Cash. He's a great wrestler. You can't deny that fact.
That's right.
Cash works hard. I know he works hard because I was right there working hard with him the whole entire time. Cash gets to EWA. He gets a few matches under his belt. Commentary starts putting him over, as the number one standout.
I know where I heard that.
Academy. Well, at the time, I was backstage when all this was going on, waiting to make my debut, and I hear this, and that really had rubbed me the wrong way because I had already started to get my disdain for Cash at this time. He starts big leaguing everybody. Yeah. He gets himself a fancy new cowboy hat, gets himself some Western gear, and he goes out there and thinks he's the man,
I've noticed that.
But the fact of the matter is, he's a good wrestler, but I'm a better wrestler. And I've proven this. I've pinned Cash 2 times recently. Hit him with the lunk alarm finisher of mine up there in Norwood, Ohio, at APW. Knocked him out of a Survivor Series match. But he doesn't want to talk about that. All he wants to talk about is, I'm his biggest fan, da-da-da-da-da. I'm just telling people the truth that he doesn't want them to hear.
And y'all used to be good friends.
Best friends.
Chris Ayer said, does Kenneth have a good word for the hard-working people of Danville, Kentucky?
I got nothing for the people of Danville, Kentucky, GK. What's up, GK?
But, that's what I've been noticing. To pivot, what got you into professional wrestling?
I've always been a fan of pro wrestling.
Oh, wait. Real quick. Donnie Green, a legend of Kentucky wrestling, MWA, who's behind you right now. Okay. He said, sounds like you need to go buy a new cowboy hat, make yourself feel better.
Nah.
But what got you into professional wrestling?
I've always been a fan of pro wrestling ever since I was a kid. I've studied it, from the time I was really all I can remember. I can never remember a time in my life when pro wrestling wasn't around. My dad was a tape trader back in the day, but before the internet and everything.
Yeah.
And that's when you would have to go in the wrestling magazines and let people know like what tapes you wanted to trade, and then you'd end up getting a tape that had been copied 50 times over. So while most kids were like watching WWF, WCW growing up, my dad was real big into Japanese wrestling.
Ooh, nice.
ECW before they got the major TV deal back when it was Eastern. So I've always grew up watching that. Really, though, like, even through watching all that, the thing that really drug me into pro wrestling as a kid was Hulk Hogan.
Nice.
I think it's, the tale for a lot of guys out there. I remember watching those best of Hulk Hogan tapes that Coliseum Video would put out. I'd watch those over and over and over. And Hulk's, the reason from the time I was a kid, I knew this is what I wanted to do. He's the reason I started lifting weights.
Good choice.
And so over the years, just becoming a fan, studying everything, I always knew I wanted to do it. And then around 2024, started going to EWA shows because I'd heard a lot of good things about EWA. And I wanted to check it out for myself. And the first show I went to was the Gold Rush.
Yeah.
And so that was awesome. And
wait, a real question here. Don Green said, but did you cry when Andre ripped off the cross?
Oh, it pissed me off, man. I wanted to go up there and body slam Andre for Hogan at that point. He's Andre was the man though. Like I remember, I still, as a kid, I would rewind that WrestleMania 3 tape so much that when it got to the point where the body slam, back on those old VHS tapes.
That's right.
It would wear out at that point because I rewound it so many times.
And people got to remember that was one of the first biggest moments for professional wrestling because pretty much you had this larger than life Hulk Hogan versus this immovable object in Andre the Giant.
Yeah. And
Andre the Giant could have just decided that he was going to put over Mr. Hogan and beat his ass. But thanks to Andre's cooler head, Hogan got to have his due dirt.
Yeah. And then once I started watching EWA, that's when I decided, this is something I need to be a part of. And so I started diving deeper into places to go get trained and trying to figure out things. And I got to give a shout out to my boy Mike Howard.
Nice.
He was talking to him, trying to figure out a school to get to, and he's actually the one that let me know that EWA had a training school.
Nice.
And so I signed up there, started getting trained. So I got to give a shout out to Mike Howard for helping me get my career started. I owe a lot to Mike.
Hell yeah. Well, while you were saying that, we had Cash Atkins chime in. He said, what he fails to mention is that I was always there motivating him, but when he signed with that fat stooge Ben Sheeran, I did stop talking to him then. Those first EWA shows he came to, he became a big Cash fan.
Okay. Let's get one thing straight here. The first EWA shows that I was coming to, it feels like the only thing that I saw was Cash Atkins getting his ass whipped by everybody on the entire roster. Once I entered the EWA Training Academy, I was the one to tell Cash, hey, we need to train harder because you've got a lot of potential here, and let's get this going. Let's show people who you really are. Me and Cash spent hours, sleepless nights training in the ring together, learning everything we could. And I really thought, at one point me and Cash were going to come up together and take this company by storm.
Yeah.
And that was the plan all along. But as things happen, things go awry, and Cash, he gets the call up first, and he forgets about Kenneth Gainz. And all of a sudden, there is no more team. So I wouldn't say I abandoned Cash. I would say once I got there and got the opportunity, I traded up.
I mean, everyone that gets into the business, they got to find their way. Find that niche that works for them. You found yours in the Ben Sharon brand.
Yes, sir.
Meanwhile, Cash found his in doing what he does. They call him the Lone Star now.
Yeah, he's the Lone Star because nobody wants to be friends with him.
Austin Baker said, I heard KG's favorite wrestler is Spike Dudley.
I'm a big Spike Dudley fan, man. That's my buddy Austin. Shout out to Austin.
Hell yeah.
He always liked Spike for one of the reasons, back in ECW, did that giant killer gimmick.
Yep.
That was something I always liked. Spike was a tough son of a bitch, man.
Yes, he was. Even now. You look at all the work that he did.
Oh, yeah, man. Like, look at some of the stuff he did with, like, Mike Awesome and Bam Bam, and one thing I appreciated about old Spike was, he usually got beat, but he never, like, laid down for anybody.
That's right. He fought back.
Yep. Spike is the man. You can't beat some Spike Dudley stuff.
What are some of the big men that have inspired you?
So the big guys have always been my favorite. Clearly, you can see it in my work. It's influenced by a lot of guys.
Yeah.
I'd say my biggest influence in the business is Big Van Vader. For my money, Vader is what you think of when somebody says pro wrestler. Always appreciated the fact that Vader was not only big, he was legitimately strong. He had a gas tank on him.
Yeah.
A lot of big guys get out there and they're blown up in, 2 minutes or whatever, but Vader's the kind of guy that he could squash somebody in 2, or he could go 30 with,
and he could do
sting.
moonsaults.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. And, speaking of big guys that can fly and stuff, another big influence on my career is Bam Bam Bigelow.
Hell yeah. The Beast from the East.
Beast from the East, baby. Bam Bam's ECW work with the triple threat. That's, a part of his career that I really love to look at is that ECW run. Also his Japan stuff when him and Vader teamed together was great. Bam Bam and Vader are kind of the two that I hold highest above everybody.
That's right.
Which I think when you think of big men, that's who a lot of people think of.
Exactly.
Another big influence on my career that I enjoy watching a lot is Dr. Death, Steve Williams. He got a pretty rough shot when he got to the WWF.
Yep. How could they dare put him inside the Brawl for All?
I mean, if you look at it on paper, you think he's going to come out. Brawl for All was one of the stupidest things that they could.
Yes, it was.
Anyway, man.
All because they wanted to teach JBL a lesson, but here's the thing. If you're wanting to play with Dr. Death Steve Williams, maybe do inside an actual wrestling match, not inside of a legit thing where you're wanting people to knock each other out, because that was so bad when Dr. Death got knocked out inside a thing that was designed for him to win.
Yeah, and it's a lot of people, that's because, most people, they're only going to watch WWF at the time, WCW and stuff. But not a lot of people dive too deep into his Japan career where he was the man,
He was the man.
And,
him and Austin both had the name Steve Williams.
Yep.
But Austin had to change his once he found out that there was another Steve Williams in the business.
Yep.
And that's how we got Steve Austin, thanks to Austin, Texas.
Yep. I'm a big Steve Austin fan too, man. Yokozuna's another big guy that I really liked. The stuff that Yoko could do in his early career when he was still throwing super kicks.
That's
stuff
right.
Like that. Like, for my money, that's some of the best work you can watch.
That's right. Cash said, "This is the last thing I'll say, and then I'll give the kid his moment in the sun. He has pinned me twice, once in a tag match and once in a 8-man survivor match. Never one-on-one. We could settle this one on any show, but you will be reminded why I was given the name Lone Star. Enjoy your moment on the show. The Gainz I know deserves it, not the Gainz who sucks up the BSB."
Okay, well, I've been trying my hardest to get this singles match for the longest time just so I can show everybody out there who the real man in EWA is. I'm not afraid of any cowboy. I'm not afraid of a guy or half my size. Yeah, I have pinned Cash twice, and it doesn't matter if it's a tag match. It doesn't matter what kind of match it is. The fact of the matter is his shoulders hit the mat.
That's true.
And both of those times, I did it myself. I hit him with my finish. He was done. He was out. You know, it's undeniable that I beat him. Him and Ace, you know, they've faced us a few times. Cash has got one up on me. I got two on him. But when Cash pinned me, you got to remember that he piggybacked off of Ace Carmichael's finish to take it in, you know. I took Ace's move when Ace, I didn't see him coming, and Cash, you know, swooped in on that, and that's how he got his one pin over me. So I look forward to the day that I can stand face-to-face against Cash Atkins and show everybody who the better man is, because I've proven it in training. I've proven it, like I said, twice so far. In 2 different states I've proved it. Yeah. I'm just waiting for the day that I can finally shut him up and send him riding off into the sunset. I'll take no greater pleasure than putting Cash Atkins on the injured list for a long, long time.
That's right. Well, next Saturday is April 11th.
Yep.
All-Star Classic. How you feeling going into that?
I've been training really hard for this match, Johnny. One thing I'll say, I'm facing Evil Nate April 11th at the EWA All-Star Classic. There's going to be a lot of big names there, and this is probably the biggest match of my career. Nate's a guy that I don't respect a lot of people in this business.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say that Nate is one guy that I do have a lot of respect for. Nate's one of the best wrestlers, if not maybe the best wrestler in the state of Kentucky.
That's true.
He's proven it time and time again. Nate's a big guy. He's a strong guy. He's technical. He can fly. I mean, he's reinvented himself lately. Look at all the work he's doing. I'm excited to show what I can do against Nate. And like I said, I respect Nate. I like Nate. But on the 11th, all that respect goes out the window. And I'm going to show everybody that Kenneth Gainz is the hottest newcomer in professional wrestling right now. And if Nate has to be collateral damage in that, then so be it.
I mean, Nate's reinvented himself as the Buzzsaw Nate now. Used to wear a mask, lost it to Alex Angel in a hard-hitting match. And then he came back as this new and improved Buzzsaw Nate. Are you worried that he'll hit you with the elbow drop? Because he has been hitting that lately.
How's he going to climb to the top rope if I slam him so many times that he can't even get up on his feet, Johnny?
That's a good strategy. Take away his ability to climb, you've already pretty much have dominated him.
Yep. Nate's a strong guy, but a lot of people know how strong I am and the things I can do. I've got a very strong background.
Oh, Omega D just popped in. He said, "Oh, he wants to kick your ass badly."
Omega,
respectfully.
Let's go, Omega. Anytime, man. I'd be happy to step in the ring with you and show what I can do. Omega's, another one of those guys, one of the best wrestlers in Kentucky. He's whipped everybody's ass that there is.
He has.
But he's never faced Kenneth Gainz. So anytime, any place, Omega, I look forward to it.
That's right. I mean, that's big because Omega likes a hard-hitting affair. And you, lately, have been showing that you like to have a hard-hitting affair as well.
Sir. Yep, I love to hit hard. I love to work hard. I mean, I can take it as much as I can give it. And there's very few people out there that I feel like can hang with me and hit as hard as I can and give as hard a hitting a match as I can. But I think Omega would definitely be one of those guys. And I do have to respect Omega because watching him beat the living hell out of Cash Atkins was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. So if I can beat Omega, I can prove, if somebody takes Cash out, I'd love to be the man that took out the man who took Cash out.
That's right.
So
Omega said he appreciates that, big dog.
anytime, man, anytime. Respect.
And that's what it's all about, because EWA has been all about creating stars and building the future. You're the future. You and OG
right.
Ugly.
Yes, sir.
And even though you may not like it, Cash Atkins is also part of the future.
That's to be determined.
There's a lot of young guys that are coming up in EWA that are hungry. They want it. And there's guys that's being trained that have yet to step into that ring and shown their potential. Are you looking forward to the day that you can step out of the ring with some of those young upstarts?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys coming up right now. Our locker room, I have to say, is probably the best locker room. It is the best locker room in Kentucky. As far as independent wrestling goes, we have some of the greatest talent, not just in Kentucky, but in the entire world. I mean, look at some of the matches that EWA's produced and some of the talent it's produced. And I'm looking forward to take on anybody that wants a piece of Big KG.
That's right.
I'm not scared of anybody. I've never been scared. I never will be scared. I'm the biggest, the largest, the strongest in EWA. And if anybody wants to step to that, I'll be prepared to knock them down a few pegs real quick.
There's also AMW.
Yes, sir.
Which you could be dabbling your hands in, because we got this Super Bowl, a pro wrestling event that they're having August 22nd, which happens to be my mother's birthday.
Okay. I saw that. I saw the announcement for yesterday. I've actually worked for AMW a couple times. Shout out to Kyle for having me there. Worked at the AMW War Games and beat the living hell out of Z Collins.
Yes, you did. I was there.
Had a great time doing it. Z might have been messed up for a little bit after that big power slam I gave him.
That's true.
I was recently worked the AMW Mountain Rumble in Corbin, Kentucky, which is my hometown.
Good choice.
Yep. Had a great time there. Unfortunately, came up short in the Battle Royal. But, I look forward to working there again as soon as I can. And I also hear Cash has been making his name over there in AMW
he has.
lately. So,
the worst thing, though, is that he made his name there, but he only tag teamed once with Wes Barker, the prospect. I thought they would have been a great team, because I was saying it the night before when we were at EWA. And then I show up for the Lexington Ice Center, and what happens? A tag team affair occurs with Wes Barker and Cash Atkins coming out in cowboy hats. So I'm like, well, damn, I predicted this whole thing last night.
Wes is way too good of a wrestler to be tag teaming with a guy like Cash, man. That's
best elbow in the game.
Wes is a great worker, man, and Wes has proven lately, he's ready to get to the top of where he wants to be. The things Wes has done in AMW is one of the hottest names there right now. Had the pleasure of training with Wes a lot.
That's right.
And Wes is a great guy and a great wrestler, and him and Marty in the cage at Bloody Breath, that's going to be a great match.
Yes, it will be.
So everybody that's in attendance for that or watching that, you're in for one hell of a match. They're going to beat the hell out of each other.
I will be witnessing that live, because we've not missed a weekend of champions yet.
But the convention that they're putting on there, the Super Bowl of Wrestling in Corbin, I think that's going to be a great event. Kyle always works hard to put on a good show. And this is something in that area, as like I said, I'm from there. And that's a hotbed for wrestling, man. There's so many wrestling fans in Corbin and the surrounding areas. Somebody's needed to do something like that there for a long time. As far as like a wrestling convention.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a great event.
And they've invited other companies from all over to come and be a part of this. So that means that we could see guys mix up from different locker rooms that have not yet locked horns.
Yep.
Speaking of that, besides Omega, who would you like to wrestle in the future?
Let's see, in the future, I love a good Haas match, Max Steele's a guy. He's been...
Ooh, the Savage. We've had him in here, too.
He's just did a few shots for EWA. I've been really impressed from the stuff I've seen from him. I I think we could give a great match out there for a lot of the people who love those clash of the larger than life guys. And Max is a really talented guy. I have a lot of respect for him as well. A guy I'd like to mix it up a lot with is two of them are right here on the screen right now. Gaston Leroux is a guy I'd really like to work with.
Nice.
Gaston, I'm a big fan of his style. He hits hard. He's got a lot of great offense, but I think I could take him down a couple pegs and toss him around.
Yeah, that's right. The Mozart will get tossed around.
Maybe put him back in his place a little bit, but most of all, Ethan Heyer is a guy that I just really love to shut up at this point. Every chance he gets, he just badmouths the BSB. Says he's going to keep bringing us down, but the fact of the matter is, you can't bring down a fortress until you knock out the strongest brick.
That's true.
And who's the strongest brick in the BSB? Right here.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
All beef, no filler.
All beef, no filler. Kenneth Gainz.
Mike Howard chimed in. He said, KG.
What up, Mike? That's my boy right there. Mike Howard is a dude who I've looked up to a lot in the business, and fortunately become great friends with Mike. I can't speak enough good things about Mike. Mike is one of the hardest working guys in the business right now.
That's right.
Speaking of guys I'd like to face, Mike's training a couple guys right now at Ascend Pro in Norwood, Ohio.
Yep.
Another great company, best company in Ohio, in my opinion.
That's right.
He's got two guys right now, Tay the Kid. And
Mike Howard said, the big KG versus TTK.
That's what I was just getting ready to say.
Chris Crow said, you said Haas fight? Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Get that shoulder back, big boy, and let's go, Chris. I'll be so happy the day I can stare across from the ring from Chris Crow. Those are actually two names I was getting ready to get to here.
That's right.
Was to piggyback off what Mike said, the two guys he's training right now, TTK, Tay the Kid, mass mover Marcus Darby. Tay is a guy I've been wanting to get in the ring with for a long time, and hopefully that can happen soon. Tay's a high-flying kid, hard-working kid.
I can tell.
I want to work with the best, and those two are definitely some of the best. Marcus is another strong guy. Not the biggest guy, but his strength is, it's up there. And I know he could give me a run for my money, and I love a challenge. And those are two guys that definitely could. And back to Chris Crow. He's been undeniable since EWA, and you got to remember, Chris was the champion in EWA. He never technically lost that belt. So, in my opinion, Chris deserves a spot right back at the top as soon as he's 100% healthy, and I'd love to be the man that knocks him off the top.
And we're going to be having him in studio April 19th, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. He's going to give an update about his shoulder and everything. So maybe you should tune in to that one.
I'll be watching that one for sure.
But that's a thing to look forward to as well. It's when Chris Crow finally does step back to that ring, because he did not lose the titles, so therefore, you just know, y'all's newest guy, AJ Alexander's going to have to put his title on the line against Chris Crow.
Adrian is the greatest champion that EWA has ever seen. I mean, look at his credentials. Adrian is one of the guys who trained me. He's taught me everything I know. It's going to be hard to knock Adrian down, especially with us behind him.
That's true.
They don't call him the double ace for no reason, Adrian is he's going to hold on to that belt for a long time to come, I feel like. It's going to take a lot to take that title from around his waist.
Mike Howard said, anabolic strong style.
I think people are going to be in for a big surprise with me and Mike have been kind of working together and brainstorming some stuff. And, OG Ugly is my tag partner.
Yeah.
My best friend in the world. And I feel bad for anybody that stares across the ring from us here in Kentucky. But in Ohio, I like to take a trip up there every now and then. And I think people might be seeing a little bit of what anabolic strong style is going to mean before it's over with.
Hell yeah. I mean, that's something that is coming together that you two are putting together. And we could be seeing that inside the near future. I gotta say, there's so many tag teams that any of you combinations can work on. Because you and OG Ugly can work on them, or you and Mike Howard can work on them.
Yep.
Who would you say is the tag teams that you're looking forward most to working with?
Two of the tag teams I could think right offhand. I have to go right back to TTK and Marcus Darby. They're a great tag team. They're both great singles wrestlers. But as a lot of EWA fans have seen, they're a great tag team as well. I mean, they have so much synergy. All their stuff is on point with each other. Their timing together is great. They know how to work together. They're great friends, outside of the ring. That always translates over to a great team.
That's right.
The team I'm looking forward to facing the most, however, in my opinion, the greatest tag team in independent wrestling right now, the Gruesome Twosome, Creed Costello and Johnny Cisco.
Good choice.
Yes, sir. Creed and Johnny Cisco, two great guys, two great workers, personal friends. But when you get in those ropes, nobody's a friend except your tag partner and yourself. And I know we could put on a great match with them. Mike and Creed had a long-standing feud.
Yes, they did.
Still going today. Those two guys hate each other.
They'll never like each other. They'll
No.
keep on beating each other's asses until finally one of them quits.
That's they're up there with me and Cash. It's they hate each other's guts, and that spills over not just in the ring but backstage. Everyday life.
That's right.
When you have such a disdain for somebody like that, and you're better than them, you can't help but want to take them on every chance you get and prove it. So
That's true.
I look forward to the tag team with Mike facing some guys up in Ohio. Those guys and me and OG Ugly. As far as that goes, I'm always happy to take on any team that's stupid
right.
enough to square up to us.
Maybe Death World Order.
That is true. Yep.
The Kazanas.
I'm a big fan of the Country Gentlemen. I'd love to get into the ring with them. I've worked the AMW Mountain Rumble. They were on there. I was really impressed by all their work in AMW. I think me and OG could give them another great run for their money. They're former NWA US Tag Champs.
Yep.
AMW Tag Team Champions. They're taking the wrestling world by storm right now. And what better opponents for them than the Ben Sheeran brand? I mean, we've got power. OG's got speed. We've got synergy. I mean, look at how we destroy everybody in the ring. So I already don't like Cowboys anyway. So what's two more to knock off the list?
That's true. One of them was called White Lightning. He's got a badass leg drop. How would you counter that?
Well, like I said before, if you knock them out enough and slam them enough and break that back, how are they going to get to the top rope?
That's true. Or you work their leg to where they can't do that leg drop.
I don't waste time working body parts. I just beat the living hell out of people and slam them.
That's true. But if you want to stop KC, you're going to have to work on that leg because he don't grow to the top rope. He will get you while you're laying down.
Yeah, you got to put me on my back first.
That's true. He's a big boy, too.
He is a big boy. Yep.
And so is AJ Kazan. You got to remember,
big old boy.
Both these guys, they're big. I don't think that they'd have a problem trying to put you on your back. You'd have to keep your eyes on both men because their strategy going in would definitely be go after you first because you're the muscle. You're the biggest guy there. OG Ugly, they'll just keep him off to the side so that they can work on you.
Yep.
So all I'm saying is you got to have that strategy inside the back of your mind when you're working with them.
You got to think I've got a great tag team partner, Johnny.
That's true.
He's you're not going to keep OG Ugly to the side.
That's right.
You're taking me. OG Ugly's going to have my back at every corner.
That's right.
He's never let me down ever.
Our champion never lets no one down.
No, he always delivers.
That's right, because OG Ugly is one of those guys that knows how to get the job done.
Yes, sir.
And he'll make sure that to take care of you.
There's nobody out there I'd rather have watching my back than the OG UGLY.
That's right. And all these tag teams that have come through, there's teams that you're not even thinking about because they've yet to become synergized.
Yes, sir.
But when they do, are you looking forward to finally getting your hands on them? Because they're all coming up. They're being trained. They know what they want, and they're probably going to come for the biggest dogs.
I mean, if they think they can run with the big dogs, let them get up on the porch.
Exactly. All these guys are being trained, and there's guys that might even surprise you. And I'd have to say that'd be a great tag team match to have. So many guys are getting special training right now from different schools. And at this super show, maybe you'll be involved. Maybe you'll be inside a tag team match. Who knows? I mean, there's different talents that you could be locking horns with at that show. And then you got Ascend Pro Wrestling, you got EWA, all these companies out there. Yep. Who has been having your eyes on that you've yet to lock horns with in singles competition?
I'd say mainly, like I said earlier, it's right now I think I could put on the best match with a guy like Ethan Heyer, just because I have so much disdain for the man.
And because he's always running his mouth about the BSB.
And any opportunity to shut him up, I'd be more than happy to take that on. Another great talent that I'd like to work with, as far as talking about earlier when I was talking about Max and having a big Hoss match, Big Jake from Ascend Pro.
Hell yeah.
He's, I mentioned Vader and Bam Bam, and Jake is another guy that's shades of them. Got a lot of respect for Jake. That could be a great match, a big Hoss fight. Another guy that I've already had a match against him, but I'd really like to work with him again and test my mettle against him is Sergeant Ledbetter at Ascend Pro.
I've heard that name twice now on here.
Ledbetter is he's a tough guy, man. I had a match with him a few months ago, and he took me to my limit there, but I think I surprised him a lot. Ledbetter's a big guy. Not a lot of people can throw him around like that, and I think a lot of people were surprised when they saw me throw him across the ring. So, and as far as an EWA goes, I'd love to wrestle Chris Crow when he gets back, and I hope that shoulder heals up quick, just so I can mess it up again.
I can tell.
And another guy that I'd look forward to wrestling in the future is former BSB member Alex Angel.
Yes.
He just made his return to EWA. That will be one hard-hitting match. Another guy I look forward to wrestling right here on the screen. We got Steel Wool. And
plus he's got partners of his own now.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of a beef right now with one of those guys too. Another guy that I've trained with is Riot.
Yep.
Riot's a big guy. He's crazy as hell.
He is.
He's a strong guy. Riot is the current NAWE Bluegrass champion. And this past month in Nebo, Kentucky at NAWE, I challenged for the Bluegrass title. And I hate to say it because he's my buddy, but as much as I respect and love Mike Howard, Mike screwed me out of the championship.
Oh, damn.
I answered an open challenge to Riot. I was prepared to take the title, and then at the last second, Mike decided to insert himself into that match. It became a triple threat, and, I hated to square up with Mike. I felt like I'd been a little bit betrayed by him.
Yeah.
But I also understand, in this business, when you see an opportunity, you got to take it.
Exactly. Plus, there was gold on the line.
Yes, sir, and everybody knows when you got the gold, the checks get bigger, your name gets bigger.
That's right.
I can't fault Mike for that, but I had the title was in my grasp. I hit a big Vader bomb off the top rope. It was, the 3 count was right there. Mike jumped in at the last minute. Things went awry, and unfortunately I didn't capture the gold, but Riot's another guy I look forward to squaring up with, and next time I'm going to take that title, and hopefully next time I'm in the studio here, it'll be sitting right here with me.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you could tell that now you got beef with Riot, but now he's got friends of his own, Steel Wool, James Kendrick, who he's chopping your boy H. Alexander right there.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, Kendrick's a tough guy. Kendrick's another guy I'd love to, speaking of people I want to face in the future, Kendrick's another guy.
He's also a strong stylist.
Strong guy, man, strong style. Kendrick is very steeped in, the Japanese style, and he knows how to hurt people. And, I mean, clearly by the picture, you can see he swings for the fences with everything he's got. But, like I said, I'm the strongest, the biggest, and in my opinion, the toughest guy in EWA. So I can take anything that Kendrick wants to dish out, and I'll give it back twice as hard.
Exactly. Chris Blades here. He said, all beef, no filter. Kenneth Gainz.
All beef, no filler. Blade.
Exactly, Chris Blade.
What's up, Blade?
But that's a feature match right there. I think now that y'all got 3 for 3, we can see a 6-man tag match against y'all.
You never know what'll happen.
Because Steel Wool Order, they're looking to take over. They know that BSB's been taken over, but Steel Wool Order's got it inside their mind that they're going to come in there and dominate whoever's inside that ring. And you just got to know, they're probably looking at y'all guys because y'all now got the EWA Championship in your midst. And Steel Wool, he's kind of power hungry right now. He don't want to just have the Heritage Championship. No. He's thinking, I'm coming in, I'm taking all the gold.
When you're at the top of the mountain like us, I mean, you got to think everybody wants to knock you off of it. And Steel Wool, he's a strong guy. I mean, you see him right now. They're beating the hell out of each other on here. That guy can fight at the Hardcore Havoc show, the Danville Stampede match, that big 8-man we had. Things just broke down at the end. And me and Steel Wool were beating the hell out of each other on the outside.
That's true.
And I can personally vouch for him. He's one of the hardest hitting guys in this business. And he is the current EWA Heritage Champion. And he's proven why.
Chris Blade wants to see you take on Doomsday.
You may see that sooner than later with all the things that transpired at this last show. I think Doomsday is... he's got his feelings hurt now, and, that's just another person coming for BSB that's not going to be able to take us down.
That's right. Plus, his brother Chad is always out there keeping order.
Yeah.
And now his brother Doomsday's come in to try to pick a fight with BSB now.
I got no problems with Chad, but, Doomsday, if he wants to hop in and go step against all beef, no filler Kenneth Gainz, I don't have a height limit on the guys I can power slam. I don't care if he's the biggest guy there. The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
I wouldn't trust Chad because Chad probably told Doomsday how y'all wrestle so that Doomsday has an early advantage. I mean, think about it. Chad's got those front row seats because he's working security. He's keeping eyes on everything. And his brother Doomsday being a 7-foot-tall monster, Chad's probably told him to look out for you specifically because you're the muscle, you're the monster of your group.
Chad knows better than anybody the skills I possess and, how hard I train and how hard I work. Chad's another guy who trained me. So I got to give a shout out to Chad for that. Chad's taught me everything I know. I wouldn't be the powerhouse I am without Chad.
That's right.
And so, obviously, he's going to be telling everybody, when it comes down to it, what to look out for with Big KG. But, everybody's got a plan until they're up on their shoulders getting ready to get slammed down to the mat.
That's right. And, Doomsday's a big guy, 7 foot tall, but we've seen 7 foot tall giants get picked up by smaller guys before.
Exactly. And, everybody's light work when it comes to me, Johnny. I've got a background before I got into wrestling. I was a professional power lifter.
Yeah.
I was very accomplished in that. I was a part of it was one of the strongest gym in Kentucky, strongest powerlifting group in Kentucky. It was called Iron Mafia. Anybody who's familiar with powerlifting and weightlifting would know about that.
Yeah.
And all those, the work ethic I developed in powerlifting and competing in that, it's just as hard as pro wrestling training. You have to be very regimented and everything. You have to be dedicated to your craft, and you have to train your ass off 24/7.
That's right.
So I took all those skills that I learned from powerlifting and the strength that I built over those years, and it's translated so well into wrestling. I don't know of a lot of people with my credentials. So that's a factor for me that when you step in the ring with me, you got to take into account. there's not a lot of guys out there that can pick you up and throw you 30 feet, but I'm one of them.
Exactly. There's so many names in EWA right now that's coming up. And guys like Ken Anderson
Yes.
that's popping up. Do you see a match between you and Mr. Anderson in the future?
I'd be more than happy to take on Ken Anderson. I mean, as far as he goes, everybody's going to be able to see him at the Scott Carter All-Star Classic in Richmond, Kentucky. That's April 11th at the Richmond Fairgrounds.
Next Saturday.
Yes, sir. Coming right up. Former NWA champion, WWE star, TNA champion, WWE star. If there's a mountain to climb to the top of, Ken Anderson's been there.
That's right.
So Mr. Anderson is definitely a guy that I grew up watching. I've got a lot of respect for him. One of the best to ever do it. And so if I ever had the opportunity to share a ring with him, I'd be more than happy to power slam him too.
And there's so many other talent that you could be wrestling right now too. Like Charles Colton, a.k.a. four-time champion.
The
champ.
Yep.
That's a match that could be happening between you and him.
I'd love for that to happen. I was watched a lot of him back whenever in the early days of EWA when he was tagging with Creekwater Syndicate.
Yep.
Charles Colton was a guy that I always kept my eye on. Always producing great matches, and like you said, he's on one hell of a run right now.
He is.
He's taking wrestling by storm. Toting around 4 belts and showing everybody that he's wasn't just a tag guy. He can make it to the top of the singles 4 times.
Exactly.
And he recently, I got a lot of respect for him because he recently just beat the hell out of Cash Atkins also. So if Charles Colton ever wants to smoke, I'll be more than happy to give it to him.
That's right. All these names that you could definitely be tearing up with right now, guys that have already been through the EWA locker room, they could return and lock up with you.
Yes, sir.
I mean, there's the NWA star who's right now on NWA TV, Carson Drake.
Yep.
You could lock up with him anytime.
Yep.
So many great names. Who would you say that you've been watching on TV lately that you hope decides to get a big head enough that they're going to come down to EWA and specifically choose you to take on?
I mean, you said it really. Carson's a guy I would love to have a match with. Carson is, currently tearing it up in the NWA.
He is.
I've actually shared the ring with Carson last month at a Sin Pro. We had an 8-man eliminator match. Worked with Carson in that. And I'd love to take on Carson in a singles match. Carson is an EWA original. And if he ever wanted to come back down and test what he's got against Big KG, I'll be happy to send him back to Billy Corgan in worse shape than he was.
Exactly. I mean, you're part of BSB. Y'all been dominating for well over a year now.
Yes, sir.
And we saw your master plan at the last show. I kind of figured something was up because you guys came out to the stage during Adrian's match that day. Y'all were inside suits. And it didn't look like he was unpleased about y'all being there.
Everybody's always happy to see us, Johnny. You
Exactly.
know that.
And then the next show is when the master plan took a full effect because it got revealed AJ Alexander, he's been sharing brand through and through, which means Tony Corral got his ass beat by y'all, and that's why he never made it to getting that championship match.
Yeah, Tony's a tough guy, and that's undeniable. I mean, look at Tony's credentials. Like, Tony's been around for a long time, and he's mixed it up with the best, and Tony's beat the best. But at the end of the day, Adrian Alexander does what he has to do to get the job done.
That's true.
And you have to think about the history of Adrian and Ben. This isn't their first rodeo.
That's true.
It's Ben knows how to get what he wants, and he knows what's best for everybody. So Adrian's always had that mean streak in him. I mean, look at the guy, and you can tell he was think of what kind of guy you have to be to do that to one of your best friends to get what you want. Think of how long Outlaw Money was a team.
That's right.
You know, they were tearing through everybody for the longest time in Elite Wrestling Alliance.
That's right.
You have to think, Johnny, if someone will take out their best friend and their mentor to get what they want, what will they do to somebody they don't like? And Adrian is a smart guy, obviously, and that showed at the last show. You know, I love it when a plan comes together, and last show ended just like, you know, every show is going to for the future. BSB on top. BSB showing why we're the strongest force in pro wrestling today. And, you know, you can hate it or you can love it, but it's the best thing going.
That's true. But to throw a wrench into that, are y'all worried when Tony Corral does make a return?
Not a bit, Johnny. We're not worried about anybody. We don't sweat anybody in this business. Look at us, you know. There's nobody that can outsmart us. There's nobody that can outwork us. There's nobody that can get the better of us in any situation. We're a complete unit. You have Ben with the power. You have Adrian with the experience. You have OG with the, you know, the technical wrestling, the speed. Who's got more charisma than OG Ugly?
Exactly.
And then you got a powerhouse. You got a tough son of a bitch. And you got the biggest and the largest backing everybody in BSB up. Who can touch us?
Exactly. But we're seeing right now on screen, you and OG Ugly took on Cash Atkins and Ace Carmichael. I have to say, that was a good matchup. But Ace Carmichael and them, just like even higher, they also vowed that they're going to tear y'all down brick by brick.
I will say Ace is a guy, don't particularly like Ace that much, but I have a lot of respect for Ace. Certainly more respect than I do for Cash Atkins. Ace has been making his name, you know, all across the state of Kentucky. Ace has got a lot of experience, and Ace knows what to do to get the job done. But, you know, the only time Aces took me out, my back was turned.
Yeah.
So, you know, face-to-face, I've shown what I can do against Ace Carmichael. I beat the hell out of Ace many, many times, kept him flat down. So, you know, as far as singles matches go, there's another one for you.
Exactly.
I'd be happy to give the people a match with Ace Carmichael and show what Kenneth Gainz can do, you know, when one-on-one with Ace Carmichael. You know, he says he's all in. We'll go all in on Big KG and see what that gets you.
I gotta tell you, you gotta watch out for that Ace Maker because he can hit it anytime and anywhere.
That is true. He's a sneaky guy.
That's true.
Questionable morals, but a great wrestler.
But I also would be watching out for Steel World Order because after they have vowed that they're going to take over, you gotta think, who's their first target? Who are they thinking about taking out? Well, there's only one other stable that's been dominant and been controlling and taking over, and that's the BSB.
Well, you know, you might see that at April 17th at the EWA Rumble. That's a chance for you to see what could happen when all these guys are in the ring together.
That's right.
1 week after, it's going to be the Friday following the All-Star Classic.
Yep.
So all these names that you've mentioned, all these, you know, potential situations for guys to mix it up that you mentioned, it can happen.
That's right.
You'll never know what will happen in this 20-man Rumble. You could get down to where you could see New World Order and BSB all in the ring together at the same time.
That's right.
We'll show them who the better men are.
Because the Rumble doesn't say that they all got to beat each other's asses. They can beat the opposite guy's ass.
Yeah, you know, it's every man for himself in there. But the fact of the matter is the BSB is a unit, so collectively we are going to win the Rumble Royale.
And plus, we don't even know if Steel World Order is as collective as they think.
They've shown that they're, you know, they're a great team and they're a great group. All three guys in there, like I've personally trained with Wright. I know what kind of guy he is. He'll do anything he can to beat somebody, and he has no regard for human life. It's very, very questionable on what kind of condition you're going to be when you get out of a match with Riot. Also with James Kendrick and Steel Wool, I mean, look at their group. You got Steel Wool, he's hard hitting. He's obviously he's a mastermind to have, schemed all this and how he got his way into the Heritage title. That's another guy. I mean, Jacob Ratliff was one of his best friends in the world. And look what he did to get the belt from Jacob.
That's true.
He's put this group together behind the scenes. Nobody knew this was going on. So obviously, he knows how to plan. And he knows how to recruit guys. I mean, if I was going to create my own group, those were two guys that I would have looked at from the very beginning.
Plus, he took a page out of Adrian's book when he did that whole scheme to get into the Heritage Championship. Because now, where's Jacob Ratliff? I'll tell you where. He's out, and he may not return because Steel Wool has hurt him in a way that I didn't think was possible. He said if this is his last time inside ring, he's glad they did it in front of EWA. But you got to think, Jack Ratliff has unfinished business. I wouldn't stay gone. I'd want my revenge on Steel Wool. Not only that, but he's still got a match with you.
Yep. That's another guy that I'm going to go ahead and shout out. No good, Jacob Ratliff. One of the greatest workers in EWA. Another guy that I looked up to a lot from the beginning. When I first started getting into the business, that was a guy that, taught me a lot. Learned a lot of things from Jacob. And I will say probably hands down, other than myself, the BSB, that's the toughest man in EWA. Jacob Ratliff hits harder than anybody. He can take more damage than anybody and keep coming back. I mean, if you get hit with the broken bow, you're done. And look what he did to get the Heritage title. He knocked Chris Crow the hell out.
He did.
In the middle of the ring to the point where the match had to go referee stoppage. I mean, how often have you seen that in Elite Wrestling Alliance?
And also, Jake Ratliff got his start in actual fighting.
Yep.
Bourbon County rules.
Yep. And, I've seen a lot of video from those Bourbon County fights. And UFC ain't got nothing on what Jacob Ratliff can do to a man. I've watched guys begging for their life in a fight with Jacob Ratliff.
Next week, we're going to have Jacob Ratliff on with UFC fighter William Bazooka Baber. They were actually talking about teaming up together inside wrestling.
Oh, yeah? That would definitely be a force to be reckoned with there. I really hope Jacob returns just so I can have another match with Jacob. I was lucky enough to share the ring with Jacob once, and it was a knockdown, drag-out brawl. I've never been in the ring with anybody who hits harder than Jacob Ratliff. He rung my bell, I will admit. And, but I kept coming back, and I really think we could give the people a great match. And that would be one way to test myself, just to show everybody, that I am the toughest man in Elite Wrestling Alliance.
That's right.
And I can hang with the best of them, and Jacob Ratliff certainly is one of those.
Now, what happens if William Bazooka does indeed transition from what he's doing in MMA right now, local scene, to professional wrestling, and he just happens to end up as your opponent?
Well, in the UFC, it's UFC is one thing, but professional wrestling's another. Just because you've been fighting in the cage doesn't mean you're going to.
Jake Ratliff said, "I just tuned in. Thanks, bro."
Hey, no problem, Jake. I hope to see you back soon, man. The UFC's one thing, but professional wrestling's another. Just because you're a big dog in the cage doesn't mean you're going to be in the big dog in the ring. It's two completely different styles of training. It's two completely different, theories and styles. And while one may bleed over well into the other, you never know what you're going to do. Nobody in UFC can pick you up, power slam you. He's never been hit with a lunk alarm finisher.
Yeah.
Big spinning power slam of mine. And like I said before, everybody's got a plan until they're in that ring, and that's when you find out what kind of man you are.
Yeah, but I think that to not undercut William Baber, if he was to join professional wrestling, He is Jake Ratliff's good friend. If he were to join professional wrestling, I think he would thrive there. I mean, he might surprise you. He might actually have power to lift someone like you up. And you never know because he's yet to step foot between those ropes. But he's talking about actually teaming up with Jake Ratliff. And I think he could thrive because we have seen guys like him coming to wrestling and they've taken to it in a heartbeat.
That's when you got to come and prove yourself.
That's right.
We can sit here and talk about what ifs all day. If this, if that. If Grandma had a pecker, she'd be Grandpa.
That's right.
You got to prove at the end of the day that, you can make it in this business and what you can do. So anybody who thinks they can step in an EWA ring or any wrestling ring for that matter and get to the top the way the BSB have, come try your hand.
I will say shout out to you, William Baber, because he won his recent fight by TKO. The guy was bigger than him, which was a far cry from his very first fight they had. The other guy was big too, but at that time, that was just a test for William. This big guy, he came in with the assumption that because William Baber seemed like a wrestler, that he would maul over him. That's not what happened. William Baber got his. He beat this guy down. He TKO'd him. So I think that's pretty damn cool.
Oh, yeah.
But if him and Jacob Ratliff are serious about actually teaming up together, that's going to be a fire tag team that I think that every wrestler should be on lookout for. Jacob just put you over. He said, Kenny is a hoss.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thanks, Jacob. I appreciate you, brother. That's high praise coming from a hoss like Jacob.
That's right.
Jacob's a guy that me and him have, talked a lot about, like early 2000s Japanese wrestling, All Japan. We're both big fans of the big Gaijin guys.
Hell yeah.
And, the big fights that they could have, so I've always respected Jacob for everything he can do. Like you said, Bourbon County Fight Club champ, bare knuckle fighting.
Yep.
Toughest guy around. So, Jacob, I hope you come back, man, because I'm looking forward to sharing a ring with you in any capacity.
And he's one of those guys that loves a hard-hitting fight.
Oh,
because only pussies go away if they get hit once.
Yeah. And he's shown that he can take way more
That's
than
right.
getting hit once and come back. Ratliff's as tough as they come, tougher than a $2 steak.
That's right. And, there are actual wrestlers that will cry if you punch them hard. But there's those that are tough as nails like Jacob. They'll tell you, hit me hard as you can. I can take that shit.
Ratliff loves it. I mean, he's the type of guy, like, sometimes, especially being in the ring with him, I feel like Ratliff's the kind of guy, the harder you hit him, I feel like it invigorates him more. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? Like, a lot of guys, you stumble them, they kind of don't know where they're at, but I feel like Ratliff is in his element, whenever he's in the heat of a fight. Look at all of his fights. I mean, anytime he's been hit, he comes back twice as hard and hits you twice as hard.
Look at his fight with Steel Wool.
Yep.
In the match where he lost his championship. He came at Steel Wool with everything he had. He beat that man from pillar to pillar, and the only reason why he lost is because Steel Wool had his buddies, Riot and James Kendrick, to help him out. But Jacob was beating that ass. He speared him onto that gym floor. He clotheslined him onto that gym floor. He even suplexed him.
Yeah.
The man was also so strong that he put Steel Wool through a door.
You got to think about Jacob, too. Like, I know we put over how hard he can hit and, his striking ability. But Jacob also knows a million different ways to tie you up into a fucking pretzel.
That's right.
And so, like, it's not just the standing game you got to worry about with him. It's the ground game. Because if he's not going to ground and pound you or elbow the living hell out of you, he's going to grab that arm and he's going to twist it around the back. He's going to find a way to put your foot in your mouth. I mean, I've watched many times guys want to come into this business and, train or prove they can work or think, it's not what it is and that they can just come in and, get to the top out of nowhere. I've watched Jacob make many men cry.
He has.
Just from taking them down and tying them up.
I was at KWF for Latino Fest, and I watched Jacob tear this man called El Reyes a new one by doing multiple submission holds. First, he did a Terry Funk toe hold. Then he transitioned that down into working the leg hard. Then he transitioned that into a crippler crossface. You're talking about a man that knows how to do many submission holds in under a minute.
Yep.
Jake Ratliff's your guy.
And I've watched him do it many times myself. He's a tough son of a bitch, man.
How did it feel when you joined Ben Sherman Brand the first time?
Ben came to me and he presented me with an offer. Because like I said, Ben has an eye for talent and he knows what's best for the Ben Sheeran brand. And Ben presented me with an offer. You know, he said, "Hey, I'm putting together, you know, this newest form of the Ben Sheeran brand, and you're one of the guys that I need in my corner." So I said, "Thank you, Ben Sheeran." Joined immediately. And, you know, everything's been great ever since then. Been in the, you know, the spotlight of EWA since joining. You know,
Yep.
Top feuds with everybody that we've been in there with. Then OG Ugly joined at the same time I did, and I knew from the moment I met Ugly, I'd been very familiar with his work prior to this. And I knew that we were going to be a force to be reckoned with in EWA. And with Ben behind us, you know, how can we fail?
Exactly.
Ben's got all the power. Ben's got all the brains. Ben knows how to run this company the way it needs to be ran. And with two guys like us behind him, now three, including Adrian Alexander, Ben Sheeran Brand's the, you know, most dominant force in professional wrestling today.
Love you or hate you, you made the right decision, because some wrestlers, they get their start, they get offered opportunity. That's what happened to you. You knew coming in, well, now I'm starting over. I'm going to take what I can get.
Yeah,
Ben Sheeran offered you the biggest opportunity there is.
And that's where a lot of people, you know, they do it the wrong way. You know, a lot of people get in this for honor and pride and all these, you know, self-righteous reasons of I'm gonna be the best guy in professional wrestling and da-da-da-da-da, and I'm gonna make the people happy and all my fans. I could care less how many people are out there cheering me. I could care less who boos me. At the end of the day, what matters, Johnny, is money and power. And without those two things, what are you?
I mean, I can understand that, because Ben Sheeran Brand has been dominant since they reformed. I mean, look at what happened. Berto was the commissioner. And where's Berto at? I'll tell you where. He got kicked to the curb, beat down, sent to Mexico. Now Ben Sheeran has found his way back to being commissioner. But what about this board of directors that showed up?
Well, you know, that's to be determined on things that are going on. Dan Childers is the head of the board of directors in the EWA. We've seen him coming in trying to put the crack down on the Ben Sheeran brand.
Yeah.
But like I said before, you know, everybody's gonna gun for you when you're at the top.
Hey, yo, Mayhem Media.
I don't think at the end of the day, Ben's the man who holds all the power. And I don't think anybody's going to be able to mess with the good things that we have going on, because what's best for business is the Ben Sheeran brand.
And, you know, Dan Childers, he was throwing this way around, because he immediately comes out while Ben Sheeran Brand is inside the ring trying to make their announcement, trying to talk. He shows up, no music at all, just walks down to the ring, climbs in. Of course, people will say that Ben Sheeran asked him to come. But really, Ben Sheeran was just saying, who does this guy think he is, wanting to throw his weight around and asking for me? And then what did he do? He immediately tried saying that they're going to investigate you guys for a lot of things.
And what did they find? Nothing.
Exactly. And he tried to get up in Ben Sheeran's face during that match, too, while y'all were wrestling. I saw that, because he got Ben Sheeran up there. He was talking to him. Some will try to say that Ben was trying to distract him. I didn't see it like that. They were having a conversation.
No, not at all. I mean, I've never seen Ben. Ben's an upstanding citizen. I've never seen Ben do a shady thing in my entire life. Look, I mean, look at Ben. Everybody should, like I say it every time I come out. Everybody should be saying thank you, Ben Sheeran, for the product that we have. Thank you, Ben Sheeran, for OG Ugly and Kenneth Gainz. Thank you, Ben Sheeran, for taking out Tony Corral. Thank you, Ben Sheeran, for sellouts at every show. But do they? No. That's because the people are stupid. They don't understand how things work, and they don't understand what's best for business.
And now you got this Dan Childers guy who says that he's part of the board of directors and he's looking into Ben Sheeran for some reason. I don't know where that comes from. I don't know what prompted them to start an investigation. Could Tony Corral told them things or something? We don't know.
I think everybody's going to find out just like they did at the last show. You know, there's a lot of things that are going to be coming to light, and you're going to have to tune into EWA programming to see, you know.
That's right, and be there live.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, every month in Danville, Kentucky, you can see us there, and you're going to see how these things unfold. And, you know, when all the dust is settled and we're still standing on top, everybody's going to see that we do things the right way, we do things the best way, and we're going to be here for a long, long time, so just get used to it.
That's right. And it's interesting to think that Dan Childers has now revealed himself because for some reason he was not introducing himself to you guys until he thought that he had the squeeze on you.
Yep.
Well, now April 11th is almost here. That's next week.
Yes, sir.
And we might just see Dan Childers try to throw his weight around there, too.
You know, if he does, we're prepared. We've always got a plan, and it usually works. Actually, it always works.
That's true. I mean, I've seen y'all's plan. Yeah, it's been effective. It has been on point. Dan Childers, if you got a plan of your own, maybe you should have been trying to put that to work when you first introduced yourself. Instead, you want to investigate them.
You know, all these talk of investigations and, you know, shady practices. If that was the case and if that was true, would Ben still be employed? Would Ben still be at the top of where he's at? Would Ben still be commissioner? No.
And it seems like even higher hates y'all. Ace Carmichael hates y'all. There's a long list of people that want to get their hands on BSB. But all I've seen them do is talk. They've not tried to tear it down brick by brick like they say. So maybe they're going to have to put up or shut up.
Exactly. Don't talk about it, be about it.
Exactly.
You can cut 1 million promos. You can make 1 million Facebook statuses. You can promise all day what you're going to do. But when it comes so many times and you don't deliver, I think everybody can predict what's going to happen. You know, you can run your mouth all day long, but that doesn't mean you're going to do anything.
Exactly. See, the Ben Sheeran brand has been dominating since they returned. See, the original Ben Sheeran brand had Clayton Cannon, it had Alex Angels, it even had Berto for some reason. But that's only because Ben Sheeran was keeping Berto close, because Berto was inserted as assistant commissioner. Get that. And so Ben Sheeran had to play it smart. Kept him cool, kept him close. For some reason, Alex Angel started growing close to this man. And then he betrayed the BSB.
And that was his downfall.
Exactly.
And you saw what happened. I mean, Alex was gone for a long, long time. And that's what happens, you know, when you turn your back on the people that, you know, got you to where you're at. But like I said, Alex Angel's returned. He's returned with a vengeance. And he's the original powerhouse of the Ben Sheeran brand.
That's true.
So I'd be more than happy to show him why the new powerhouse of the Ben Sheeran brand is here to stay.
I was actually expecting him to go after the BSB when he returned. But then he got sidetracked with his old pal, Nate Cross.
Yes, sir.
And they just had to work out their kinks.
Yep, and, you know, you saw what he did to Nate. I mean, that's the reason the mask is gone from Nate. Nate had to do some soul searching and had to reinvent himself as the Buzzsaw. And you see who, you know, I think that kind of lit a fire underneath Nate to show what kind of athlete that he really can be. You know, he's not just worried about having a mask and a chainsaw anymore. He's worried about hitting you from every way that he can, you know, trying to land that big elbow drop.
That's true.
He's gotten bigger. He's gotten stronger. And I'm just going to show, that even when Nate is at his best, like he is right now, that April 11th in Richmond, Kentucky, that big KG is going to be the one that can cut him back down to size.
That's right. And folks, they finally get to lock horns next Saturday. So guys, you need to get your tickets now if you ain't already. And go experience EWA in person. Kenneth Gainz versus Nate Hewitt, who is now calling himself Buzzsaw Nate. He's got elbow drop like no other. But it's that twist of Nate that you should be looking for.
And there's a lot of things for me that he needs to be looking out for as well. I mean, look at some of the stuff that I can do. I don't just have power either. For a guy my size, I've got speed, I've got agility. There's a lot of things to look out for from me. He's got to look out for, I can power slam you from any angle. I can drop you from any angle. If you decide you want to use your speed to come running at me, look how many guys that I've black hole slammed straight through the mat. Nate's got his work cut out for me on April the 11th, and it doesn't matter if he's got Dahlia at ringside with him to try and help. If she decides she wants to get involved in the match too,
that's right.
I'm equal opportunity. I'll send her straight into the mat as well. I don't care. I'll do anything I have to do to get the win.
I mean, we did see Alex Angel put her through a table
exactly.
with the razor's edge.
Yep, and unfortunately, I think some people in this business are too hard-headed to realize that once something doesn't go your way, you might not want to try that again. So, as much as I respect Nate, he made a terrible decision signing for this match against me. And if she wants to make a terrible decision, I'll be happy to put her in a wheelchair and send her right back to the hospital with Nate.
That's right. I mean, not only that, but this is a match that's been building, and no one even realizes it. Nate Hewitt is always after the biggest guys.
Yep.
And you were one of the most prioritized on his mind. And now he gets to go one-on-one with you.
Yes, sir.
Next Saturday night. And who knows, he might have a grudge against BSB as well. You never know with Nate Hewitt.
Nate is he's very unpredictable, and he's very smart. But like I said, signing for this match wasn't the smartest thing that he's ever done. And,
exactly.
I've watched Nate take down guys twice his size, but the fact of the matter is he's never been in there he's been in there with powerhouses before, but he's never been in the ring with a powerhouse like me.
Exactly. Then you got that Rumble to look forward to after.
Yep.
April 17th. It's almost like everything's fallen into place.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Rumble Royale is actually a good opportunity to get yourself a championship. Which championship are you looking forward to most?
Well, I think right now we already have possession of the EWA championship with Adrian Alexander, and we'll do anything we can to keep that belt within the Ben Sharon brand. So, when I win the Rumble Royale in Danville, Kentucky, might be time to bring that heritage title back to the Ben Sharon brand.
Which means you and Steel Wool going to lock horns sooner or later.
Yes, sir, and I'm not one bit scared.
That's right, because he's now the heritage champion. But I do think that there might be tag team championships being introduced for EWA. I mean, you can't have a tag division without it.
We'll see about that.
We'll see who's the inaugural.
Who better than the BSB boys?
That's right. We already got the women's championship, which is going to be happening because Brooklyn Ray takes on Lexi Green,
Yep,
who is world famous Green family member.
Yep.
That man behind you, Donna Green, that's his family right there. Lexi Green carries on the Green name. Donna Green himself gave her his blessing to carry that name.
Yep.
So that's one championship that's being defended.
That's going to be another great match too. I mean, like you said, Lexi has that wrestling pedigree, and she's got that lineage. Lexi's a great wrestler. She was EWA champion for EWA women's champion, for a very long time, defending that belt against everybody that got thrown at her. And Brooklyn Ray is a great up-and-comer, and, that shows what kind of talent she has. She was able to, dethrone Lexi.
That's right.
For that belt. That seemed like Lexi had a stranglehold on that championship, and that was going to be hers forever.
Exactly.
But just out of nowhere, Brooklyn comes and takes it, and Brooklyn Ray is really impressive in the work that she's done. I've seen how hard she trains, and, I've seen what she can do in the ring. So she just recently defeated Jessie Belle Smothers at our last EWA show successfully defended that women's title. So, this is going to be a great match. That's another part of a great card you're going to see at the All-Star Classic. There's going to be a lot of great matches going on there. You got the Heritage title match. Steel Wool's going to be defending that. It's going to be a hard-hitting card from top to bottom. And what better thing to do than get your own ticket, come out to see it live at the Richmond Fairgrounds, and witness the greatness that is the Ben Sheeran brand.
That's right. I mean, if we do see tag team titles introduced, I'd like to think that the BSB is going to be first in line to try and capture them.
Oh, you already know, Johnny.
Especially. Guys, I can't stress enough, April 11th, you need to come out there. Because we got 2 big shows happening that day. We got AMW, Weekend of Champion, Bloody Breath, where you're going to see Marty Clay get his hands on his cousin, Wes Barker, in a steel cage for his Appalachian Mountain Wrestling Heavyweight Championship title. And then you got Elite Wrestling Alliance All-Star Classic happening as well the same day, where you're going to see this man take on Nate Hewitt, otherwise known as Buzzsaw Nate. And you got Ken Anderson going to be there. You got Lexi Green taking on Brooklyn Ray in a championship rematch because she wants her title back. You got to believe that it's burning her ass to know that Brooklyn Ray somehow took that title from her, the goddess. She wants her title back, and there ain't nothing going to stop her from that. But then on the down low, you got Steel Wool and his guys. They have been on a tear as well, just like the BSB. Guys, I can't stress enough that you need to go to these 2 shows, because these 2 shows are stupendous. If you can't make it to Elite Wrestling Alliance, you got AMW. If you can't make it to AMW, you got Elite Wrestling Alliance, Danville, Kentucky. Guys, you need to go check them out, because you're going to see this man have a bloody affair with Nate Hewitt.
Yes, sir.
And I tell you what, it's unpredictable because you don't know what Nate's going to do in that match.
This is a great time to be a wrestling fan in Kentucky for sure. I mean, between AMW and Elite Wrestling Alliance, these 2 companies are putting on some of the best wrestling that you can possibly ever see, not just in Kentucky, but just in pro wrestling in general. I mean, the stars are coming in from everywhere to get their hands on some of the action here. You see it, former TNA champion, Mr. Anderson.
That's right.
He's going to be squaring up with Carson Drake at the All-Star Classic. So, what you see, this is going to be one of the best matches, around. It's you can't beat these cards. And Bloody Breath you got the main evented by Marty Clay and Wes Barker in the cage for the AMW World Title. Marty Clay is another guy I have immense respect for. Marty's, helped me out a lot, and when I was first getting started, showed me a lot of things. Wes has too, and I know how hard both of these guys work, and this match is going to be one hell of a match for the people there to see as well. So
that's right.
Like Johnny said, if you can't make it to the EWA show, if it's a little bit too long of a haul for you, definitely make it down to Bloody Breath for AMW and see what they've got going on that night.
That's right, because Kentucky wrestling is thriving. It has been thriving a long time, but it kicked into gear in 2022.
Yep.
As it should. I remember EWA when it was us promoting it before it became a thing. Adrian would come on here talking about it. He already had in mind things that he was going to do.
Yep.
And then it became a thing because the board of directors went and they made EWA an actual company. And now you got great talent that comes through that door. You had talent like Carson Drake that started it out. You had Quickwater Syndicate. So many names that you're seeing on these other Kentucky promotions that start out with EWA.
Yep.
Guys, now's the time to show your support for Kentucky wrestling when you see April 11th, AMW Weekend of Champions, Bloody Breakfast, and EWA All-Star Classic. Because on one hand, you got the Steel Cage main event. And then on the other hand, you got Ken Anderson coming there. And he's going to be doing his thing because Anderson never sleeps. And plus, they're going to be seeing you taking on Evil Nate, who's sure to be an unpredictable match.
That match alone's worth the price of admission. And
Exactly.
The drive up to Richmond.
I can't stress enough just how great Kentucky wrestling's gotten, because ever since 2022, it's just gotten better and better and better. And just think, before 2022, everybody slept on Kentucky wrestling because they believed that there was no professional wrestling here. Which is awfully funny because we had MWA, which is one of the longest standing promotions. We had Terry England doing his thing with Ultimate Championship Wrestling since 1997. We've had so many Kentucky promotions that were doing everything right.
Yep.
And people were sleeping on it until now. We got Mike Howard. He said, more people need that shirt the good old Kenneth Gainz has on. That's true.
Shout out to Mike Howard again. King of bar fight style, knockout or tap out. Fits pretty good on these big muscles right here.
And you know, that's another guy that's a great talent. Mike Howard, just Mike Howard. Let's be honest,
EWA original.
That's right. And he's also got that deadly lariat.
Mike Howard has the best lariat since Stan Hansen, and I'll put that on everything I own.
That's right. Even though our guy Big Beard's like, you can't call it lariat because he's not from Texas.
We can call it a lariat because it knocks you the hell out.
That's right. I've been saying this. Actually, a lariat is when you take a man's head off.
Yep. Hey, Mike is one of the hardest hitters, in the game right now. He just had one hell of a match at the last show against Ethan. And,
yes, he did.
I mean, he almost killed Ethan, hit him with a regal plex that everybody thought
he said, Lariato!
Lariato! Mike Howardo!
That's right.
The man. They, and, speaking of Mike, like, not just Kentucky, speaking of how good Kentucky wrestling is.
Ohio.
I have to shout out Ohio. I mean, Ascend Pro right now. I've been working for them a lot. I've been on a tear up through there lately, and I have to give a shout out to Ascend Pro for all the great, matches that they're putting on.
They do got great talent.
If you're in the northern Kentucky, even if you're not close, it's well worth the drive to check out Ascend Pro. This summer, there's going to be a big Ascend Pro summer tour going on. Shows almost every weekend that you'll be able to catch. A lot of guys up there are great to watch. Some of the names you want to keep in mind up there, of course, Mike Howard.
Yep.
Big Jake, Sergeant Ledbetter, the Gruesome Twosome, Creed and Johnny Cisco, TTK, Mass Mover Marcus Darby, MB Funk. That's another guy I have a lot of respect for. King Bomani.
Yep, I've seen Bomani. He's also an EWA guy.
Huge powerhouse, man. Yeah, he worked for EWA a lot. He's you can see him at Ascend Pro Wrestling almost every month, when they run up there. And Ascend Pro is also bringing a lot of hardcore action there. Hooks and Gigi Jacobs, shout out to Gigi. They just had a great match up there. They had one hell of a bloody fight, that was just as crazy and violent as, Cactus Jack and Terry Funk.
That's right. Gigi Jacobs can handle it.
Yeah, Gigi, mayor of Pound Town, USA, the queer Billy. Gigi's a tough son of a bitch, man.
That's right.
They, I can't put over Ascend Pro enough for the opportunities they gave me to come in there and beat the hell out of people. I always enjoy going up there. It's a great crowd. It's a great company. So Kentucky wrestling is definitely on a tear right now, like you said, with all the great stuff going on. But if you got the chance to make the drive up to Ohio, definitely check out Norwood. Check out Ascend Pro, because I can promise you, you will not be disappointed in the shows that they put on. I have to. They've got actually got a big junior heavyweight tournament. It's going to be next weekend. Adrian Alexander is actually going to be in that tournament as well. So check that out. It's there's going to be a lot of junior heavyweight guys there. They're going to crown their first ever Summit champion, and that's going to be one to look for.
That's right. Pro. And plus, you got Indiana. Grindhouse Pro Wrestling.
Yep. I mean, look at the guys they've turned out. That's the home of the OG, UG,
That's right.
LY right there. And as
our champion.
As much as I dislike Ethan and have a disdain for him, Ethan's a big Grindhouse guy coming out of there. Grindhouse is definitely a place to check out, man.
Or Paradigm, where my boy Omega is still the Paradigm heavy hitter champion. And he's been defending it wherever he goes. Anyone wants the heavy hit, they take it up with him.
Yeah, Omega's international, man. He's anybody that wants a piece of him, he ain't afraid to travel to give it to him either.
That's right.
Yeah.
My character said April 25th, junior heavyweight tourney.
April 25th, my bad. Yeah,
that's badass.
That's going to be that junior heavyweight tournament for SN Pro.
We've been meaning to come to an SN Pro Wrestling.
You guys need to make it up, man. You will not be disappointed. I'm not blowing smoke when I say that. It's APW is one of the best promotions running right now, and
that's right.
In my opinion, Elite Wrestling Alliance is the greatest promotion going right now. We've got the Ben Sheeran brand. We've got Adrian Alexander as our champion. We put on hard hitting matches all around. And APW is right up there with us. And as far as Ohio wrestling goes, greatest wrestling in Ohio.
That's right.
And, you check them out at the Norwood Recreation Center up there. Every month they run. Won't be disappointed at all.
That's right. We got to get my character back inside here.
Yeah, you got it. Should have had him come down today and join me.
Yeah, that would have been a fun one.
Yep.
Because it might have actually gotten you to that singles match that you want.
Yeah, Mike, you got to come back down. Come with me next time, dude.
Especially because we've had him in here, but we ain't had him in here since he became just Mike Howard.
Yeah, and this is definitely the best version of Mike Howard, I have to say. The party's over, and
that's right.
Feel bad for anybody that stands in the line of sight of Mike Howard because he's got a chip on his shoulder, and he's going to take it out on everybody he can.
And plus, he's got the lariato.
Yep, and Mike is known for the lariat, but he's got a mean blue thunder bomb too.
Yes, he does.
For Mike is, I've shared a ring with Mike. Mike was actually my very first, pro wrestling match in front of a big crowd. I've wrestled him at Pioneer Days last year.
Yeah,
and I've been on the receiving end of that lariat before, and. Me and Mike are great friends, but like I said before, when you get in that ring, it's, all friends be damned and thrown out the window. So I know how hard Mike can hit and how Mike can go. And I wouldn't be part of the wrestler I am today without Mike. So I gotta put Mike over big time.
That's right. He said Mike Howard and Kenneth Gainz in the same room during the podcast. Work can't handle it.
Not at all. They ain't ready.
But that's something that would definitely be an interesting episode.
Hey, we'll come back anytime, John.
Because that's what we're all about, is bringing together people and unleashing them upon the world.
Yeah. And like Mike said earlier, the world Mike Howard and Kenneth Gainz might get unleashed on some people in some other ways before you know it.
That's right. Like what people's got to understand is that professional wrestling is hotter than it's ever been.
Oh, yeah.
Because the independent scene has been picking up in the last few years now. But Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana, Texas, so many great promotions are out there. And if you're willing to travel, that helps you more than just staying in your local scene. Because there are so many wrestlers that do themselves a disservice by staying in one place when they could be going to places all around and showing that they are what they say that they are.
Yep, that's something that I've been striving to do is get out and get my name out at more places. And June 27th, I'll be actually heading to Georgia.
Hell yeah!
Talking about new opponents and I'll be entering the Sean Schultz tournament for, it's a tournament for, guys that are newer to the business, rookies trying to break in, make a name for himself. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be June 27th in, I believe it's Chatsworth, Georgia.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to that. Going to put on a great show and definitely walking out as the winner of that tournament.
I think that is great because you're going to Georgia, and there's no telling what other places you just might pop out at.
Oh, yeah. That's and not just wrestlers in general, branching out to more states and more places. I think fans should, too.
I do, too.
If you're, like you said, independent wrestling's hotter than it's ever been right now. As somebody who experienced the big indie wrestling boom in the early 2000s as a fan and how big it was when Ring of Honor first hit.
Yeah.
You had Ring of Honor, TNA, IWA, not just for the deathmatch stuff that they were doing back in the day, but you got to think that's when you were getting Chris Hero and CM Punk putting on 90-minute time limit draws, and somebody that came up through all that, and NWA Wildside, and all the great indie promotions of the early 2000s. I feel like indie wrestling is back to that level of you have so many options and so many places to go. So even as far as like being a wrestling fan, don't be afraid to get in your car and drive 2 hours to Norwood, Ohio to go watch an Ascend Pro Wrestling show.
That's right.
Or driving to Indiana to go check out a Grindhouse Pro Wrestling show. Or, any pro wrestling show. Like, I think a lot of people just miss big opportunities to go watch this stuff because you never know when you're on that show, that guy who's, in the first match putting on a banger, that could be the next WWE World Champion in 5 years,
That's right.
And look at somebody like Marty. Marty Clay. He's been in the business, not long at all, really.
Marty was there for John Cena's last match, and I didn't even realize it. That man could have saved John Cena, but you know why he didn't save him?
He should have hit Gunther with that dead man's curve.
That's right.
Cena would still, but yeah, look at somebody like Marty. I mean, just a few years ago when he was a rookie, you'd never know it, and Marty's undoubtedly, on his way to the top. I think that's definitely a guy.
When we first had Marty Clay in here, he didn't talk a lot.
Yeah.
He was wearing denim jacket, denim jeans. He had his hair inside the ponytail that we know.
Yeah.
He sit right there where you was. He didn't really talk that much. But after he came on here, I think we woke his confidence up because he started talking more and more. And when he came back onto this podcast, he was a more talkative Marty Clay than he was when he first came in.
You got to think of all he's accomplished in between then and now, too. He had a lot more to talk about.
That's true.
Marty's done it all. And if there's one guy out there to watch, too, that I think you'll be seeing big things from in the next few years, I definitely think it's going to be Marty.
I do, too, because Eric Young wrestled him recently at the Convention Show. And you know what? Eric Young himself said, dude, you should be wrestling for AEW right now.
Yeah. I mean, look at Eric Young, former TNA champion, former WWE star. Eric Young's been everywhere that you can go, and for him to say that about Marty, that's clearly high praise.
That's
Marty
right.
Deserves that.
And we had Eugene there as well.
Yep.
Eugene, he rocked me. He said, "It doesn't matter what your name is." I think he was trying to eat my sequin jacket. Which just sounds about right for Eugene.
Yeah, that tracks.
And Charles Colton was the one that wrestled him.
Yep.
For some reason, the referee let this man hold Charles Colton's belt when he didn't win it. Man, that was disrespectful.
Rookie move.
Yes, it is. Because why the heck would Eugene get to hold the towel? And then he, of all things, he gave Charles Colton the cutter and then counted his own pin. After Charles Colton had won.
Charles Colton, man, he didn't deserve that disrespect.
No, he didn't because he is the champ.
Champ like that.
That's right. Especially when he's got 4 championship belts and you just disrespected his main one. Eugene had a manager with him and she slapped him. I didn't know the managers are allowed to slap wrestlers.
Ben's certainly never done anything like that.
Exactly. Ben would never do such a thing.
Nope, upstanding citizen.
That's right. But that's what you can see in professional wrestling right now. Is you can see things like characters like Eugene being involved. You can see things like a undead Western mortician, wizard, Undertaker, or you can see guys like the Fiend or White Six all come together with these guys that are just playing themselves.
And that's one of the reasons, that a lot of people, I think need to, if they haven't already, need to experience Elite Wrestling Alliance, because that's something we bring. We bring a diverse, group of characters and personalities to the show. There's something for everybody at an EWA show. If you want a good technical match, somebody like Damian Chambers and Hunter Holcraft, the match that they just had.
That's right.
If you want a good hard-hitting match to see people beat the living hell out of each other, Steel Wool, Jacob Ratliff, Mike Howard. If you want to see, a good Hoss match, you got guys like me, Max Steel, Alex Angel. There's something for everybody there. So, bring not just yourself, but bring the whole family down to Danville, Kentucky every month and see what we've got going on, because you won't be disappointed.
Nowhere in any other professional sport will you have fans as great as the wrestling business does.
No.
And also the same could be said about the talent that wrestling has. There are so many wrestlers that can do stuff that those professional sports athletes wish that they could.
Yep. And, a lot of, I don't think a lot of people realize how hard that pro wrestlers train.
Yeah.
I mean, the what it takes to be in the ring, people think you could buy some spandex and a pair of boots and learn how to do a headlock, and that makes you a pro wrestler. But people don't understand that this is a craft, and it's something just like anything in life. If you want to be good at it, you have to study.
That's right.
Bust your ass and apply yourself, and not just you have to branch out to other places, like you said, and work on that and get better. And
that's
better
right.
And learn from the best. And that's one thing I've been very grateful of the places I've been and the people that I've met. I've been able to pick up a lot from.
That's
people.
right.
And I've only been in the business a year so far, but I feel like as much as I've put into it, and from everything I've studied, and just taking the chance that I can to learn from every single person, it's just benefited me so much. And that's the part that people don't see. They don't see you training for 4 hours in a a building that has no heating or air in the summer and winter. In summertime, you're drenching sweat and about to pass out, or in the wintertime, you're wearing 3 layers just so you don't freeze to death. And a lot of people don't realize that if it's cold, when it's cold outside, that ring's twice as hard.
Exactly.
So, and the bumps, we have to take to learn, and the time you have to take to dedicate to not just doing the moves, but doing them correctly. And, it's a lot of stuff. And when you're in that ring, you have to keep track of 50 things in your mind, And so there is no other sport like pro wrestling. It's just in the athletes, and there's no other sport to be a fan of. Like
that's right.
Like what other, you don't get to go to a MLB or NBA game, and you're not part of the show there, So that's what I've always appreciated about pro wrestling, is that as the wrestlers, the work that they put in, but just as much I've always appreciated how involved you get to be on the fan side of it. So
that's right.
If I know a lot of people that are listening, you probably already go to wrestling shows and stuff, but if you're one of those people that just watches on TV or YouTube or whatever, and you love wrestling and you've never been to a show, find your local show and go. And not just your local show. Drive to, all these shows that you're watching on YouTube and stuff. Support wrestling. Because the more you support independent wrestling, the better it's going to get for everybody.
Exactly, because there's so many professional wrestling on the independent scene that you could be checking out right now, and nowhere else will you have wrestlers interact with you as much as independent wrestling does. Because I'm telling you right now, WWE and them, they may have wrestlers that interact with you, but that's only if you paid.
Yep.
But if you go to an independent show right now, I guarantee you that the first thing you're going to experience is a heel coming up on you and telling you to sit your ass on down before they smack you. Or you'll have babyface come up there and saying, you okay, you okay? Checking on you, doing their babyface due diligence.
And I mean, how often you may watch WWE and go to a WWE show, but in the middle of that show when there's a break, you're not going to get to go out and meet those wrestlers that you just watched, at an independent wrestling show during intermission or a break in the show. You're going to get to meet those people that you watch every week. They're going to be out there. I mean, if you buy merchandise from the wrestlers, like T-shirts or 8x10s, or, you want a picture with them, the guy that's giving you the shirt is the guy that you're, who's on the shirt. Like, how often do you get that in something?
Exactly.
And if you are going to these pro wrestling shows, one thing I can definitely say is if you're a fan of somebody and you like their work, support them if you can. Head to their merch table, pick up a T-shirt, pick up a little bracelet if they have them, or a $5 picture or something. Because if you want to see these guys succeed, supporting them in the or as a fan is one way. But also, the more that if you can, obviously, supporting them through their merchandise and stuff, that just helps them get to the next town,
That's right.
the next show. And so wrestling fans are, as much as they can often be, stupid, and I hate them when I'm in the ring, I realize at the end of the day that they're what makes it go around. So you definitely want to check out the shows and support the guys that you like. And
that's right.
Like we said before, it's the most involved you can be as a fan. Like, you don't get to go to an NBA game, and if you hate LeBron James, you can't tell him to kiss your ass and he's gonna hear it, And
exactly.
But if you hate me in the ring and you want to call me a piece of shit, you can do that.
That's right.
And that doesn't mean I'm gonna take it well, and I may tell you what I think of you right back, but you get that experience at the end of the day. You get that off your chest, and if you want to buy a T-shirt from one of the guys that sucks fans' asses like Cash Atkins or Ace Carmichael, or if you want to buy a T-shirt from them, you can go do that and get your picture.
That's right. Nowhere is more performative than pro wrestling. To me, I consider it art.
Oh, yeah.
It is the male soap opera because you can have guys beating the shit out of each other while having romance storylines. You can have undead characters coming and wanting revenge. Nowhere else, not even a movie, not even a TV show, not even your favorite musical, will you get the experience of all of this and you being able to interact with it. It is like an interactive soap opera. Yeah. For you to go check out, because you're going to get fighting, you're going to get action, you're going to get it all. It's all rolled into one performance art. Yep. And to me, that makes it the greatest. So whenever I hear someone say it's fake, I'm like, brother, you try getting inside that ring and run those ropes.
Yeah, have them do
You try getting slammed onto that canvas that you think is a trampoline. I'll tell you, I've helped set up and tear down the ring. There is no trampoline. That bounce that you see and hear, that's wood not having any support underneath but 3 metal beams. Yep. That aren't being supported themselves. So when you see a guy get slammed, just think, what happens if it's 2 big guys and they're doing power slams to each other? And that ring decides that since those 3 metal beams are the only thing supporting, those metal beams decide to bend. They're walking on dangerous ice every day. So when you're calling it F-A-K-E, just remember, you're wrong. Because nowhere else will you get an experience where 2 men are beating the shit out of each other and brutalizing their bodies for your entertainment. And I got to be inside the ring back in June 5th, 2024, Salina, Tennessee, when I took on my best friend, Andy, in a wrestling match that was an exhibition between 2 celebrities. It was called the Podcasters match. I gained a newfound respect for wrestling because I did see how hard it is to run those ropes, because you can gas out real fast, because you can have all the 7 minutes out of the world, but if you're not doing things that help get you ring ready, you get wore out real fast.
That's the part a lot of people don't realize too either. It's not just the ring training. It's everything you have to do on the outside of the ring to prepare yourself for it. I mean, me personally, I'm in the gym 6 days a week, lift 5 days a week. I lift heavy. I'm doing a lot of cardio in the gym. I spend 30, 45 minutes on the Stairmaster on high levels every day, running inclines on the treadmills, running sprints. I'm a big guy, and but that's because if you wrestle the style I have, you got to be. And if you lift as heavy as I do, you're going to be a big guy. But it's always important to you can be a big guy and still keep yourself in check cardio-wise, which I do. I take a lot of pride in the fact that I can go out there and give you one hell of a match, and I'm not going to blow up.
That's right.
That's one of the things that, talking about Vader and Bam Bam earlier, like as big as those two guys were, you never saw them, down sucking wind, and, their stuff always looked crisp and powerful, and that's how I feel. I want to, when I'm in there, I want to stay strong, and the gym is really important. That's other than pro wrestling, that's probably my biggest love in life.
That's right.
Is lifting weights. And apart from that, it's the meal prep. It's you have to eat right. You have to eat enough to support your training style and the things that you do. And a lot of guys don't realize how beneficial that can be.
That's right.
To help you out there. So,
and also you gotta think, the ropes, they're not ropes. They're electrical elevator cables encased in rope likeness. So when you're hitting them, your back's gonna get bruised the fuck up.
Yeah, we're in that ring every day training, hitting that mat every single day. I mean, you said you did it once and it hurt like hell.
Yeah.
Think about doing that, 5-6 days a week.
Yeah.
And your body takes a lot of damage, and that's another thing as a fan. You just realize what these guys are putting themselves through to give you a great show.
And they're also making sacrifices that you need to understand and show respect for.
Yeah. A lot of guys have, a lot of these guys have families that they're taking time away from to train and work hard to, and still balancing family life with them. A lot of these guys could be out here, in the summertime, they could be out on the lake and partying and having a good time, but no, we're training our asses off to give you guys a good show and to, make it to the top of where we want to be as well.
That's right.
So, appreciate what pro wrestlers do. And like I said earlier, if you're a fan, definitely get out to shows and show your support, because pro wrestling is one of those things that we thrive on the fan support, and the more you support, the better it will be.
That's right, and you also got to understand, things can change. I know, because in my match, my wrestling dance partner stopped, and unbeknownst to the fans, he tells me, Johnny, I don't know what to do. So here's what I did. I beat his ass into a corner and Irish whipped him into the opposite corner. Hit him with the clothesline and went for the finish regardless.
There's a lot of unpredictable things can happen there. But the first match I actually had with Mike, it was outside. It was really hot that day. A lot of people been sweating all day and losing electrolytes and things like that. So muscles were a little tight. As soon as the bell rings, I go to take off towards Mike. My calf tears.
Oh,
shit.
In
my first match. So I didn't really notice it at the time. I just felt like a little bit of a twinge in my calf. And, I had to adjust my strategy for the match. But it was a very first time in front of a crowd. As soon as the bell rings and I take off,
that's right.
Calf tear. But that goes back to the training. Like a lot of the, leg training and calf training I do, I feel like the muscle structure that I have and the power, I was able to, go through it. And the stronger your body is, the more you can work through things like that.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, I did hit double knees. That wasn't discussed. I can't help it. when you're inside the ring, working with your opponent, you're not thinking. But when you see a guy perfectly positioned down inside that corner, and you back up, and your first thoughts no longer are about you're going to stomp him. Now you're thinking, okay, what if I try this? And it looks good, you go for it. That's what I did. I hit him with the double knees. I did what Lexi Green does. When she runs up, she grabs the ropes and slams her knees into him. I did that to Andy. He's still crying about that. He says that still gave him a concussion. I'm like, brother, I went easy with it. I wasn't intending to hurt you. But people's got to understand, in wrestling, things like that can happen.
Yeah, you gotta be prepared to adjust your style on the fly, man. It's as predictable as you think it can be when you're in there. It doesn't take very long for it to get unpredictable.
That's right.
It's really important that goes back to the training. I mean, you have to train and get yourself enough experience to where if you're in a situation like that, you know what to do.
So let me ask you, how long do you think you've been on?
I'm not sure.
You've been here close to 2 hours.
Oh, really? Time flies, man.
That's what we always say. I mean, Anthony Presley, who's with AMW right now, he said he could only be here 40 minutes. He was here at a full 2 hours. And he did this summer.
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected it to be that long. I was thinking maybe like an hour.
Yeah, it's right now at 2 hours. This is the part where we say our goodbyes to the fans. Kenneth, the floor is yours. Let the fans know where they can find you, your future matches, everything the Hoshin Big.
All right, well, wrestling fans, I am all beef, no filler, Kenneth Gainz, the biggest, the largest in Elite Wrestling Alliance, proud member of the Ben Sheeran brand. And April 11th at the Scott Carter All-Star Classic, you're going to see me beat Nate Hewitt into a pile of nothing, slam him into the ground, and send him packing for the foreseeable future. So get down to Richmond, Kentucky at the Richmond Fairgrounds, get your tickets, check out Elite Wrestling Alliance on YouTube, Facebook, check Kenneth Gainz out on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Check out Ascend Pro Wrestling in Norwood, Ohio. Check out Appalachian Mountain Wrestling on all the socials as well. You won't be disappointed in anything you see. So anytime that you pay for a ticket to see Big KG, I promise you'll leave impressed. Thanks for having me on, Johnny. I appreciate
You're welcome,
it,
brother.
man.
Guys, James Kenneth said, I never had playing when I go into matches. We can tell, brother. But guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Kenneth Gainz, for giving us a moment of your time.
My pleasure.
And guys, go on out to April 11th, EWA's All-Star Classic. But if you're able to as well, go to AMW, Weekend of Champions, Bloody Breakfast to witness Marty Clay finally get his hands on his cousin that betrayed him at the Lexington Ice Center just 2 months ago, February 15th. The Lexington Ice Center, where I got to witness the best elbow drop in the house, the best leg drop in the house. Wes Barker turn on his cousin and kill the Freelanders. Guys, I can't stress enough. Professional wrestling, that's where it's at. Get your asses in gear and go check out some pro wrestling in person. Because WWE will make you buy an arm and a leg. AEW claims their prices are affordable. Well, guess what? Independent wrestling has way better affordable ticket prices, and you don't gotta always worry about having to pay to meet someone, because you can meet them at their merch table, or you can meet them when you're at ringside, when they show you some damn action, or they give you an interaction that you can remember and live with. Guys, I'm telling you right now, next week, big things are happening April 11th for Danville, Kentucky, and Breathitt, Kentucky, a.k.a. Jackson, Kentucky. Get your asses in gear and go check out some professional wrestling, because I'm telling you right now, that is the best place to be. That is our art. That is the best place that you're ever going to experience in person. So, guys, I only got one thing left to say. You're not having fun. You ain't getting none. Damn, Skippy. Yeet, yeet.